Well, Richie, thanks for joining us. What was your verdict on that performance?
We're frustrated that we've lost the game. Did we deserve to lose the game? On the balance of playing, especially the second half, probably not. But when you start like that, listen, I think for the first 25 minutes it was men against boys. They put balls in areas and they made the game horrible for us to defend. And we didn't have, obviously we've made changes to the back four, and we just did not have no physicality, no decision making to deal with it. And in terms of on the ball, we just never. There was players in there that wanted to play their own game. I think it was 36, 37 minutes before we actually started to do what we wanted to work on, and then we controlled the game for the last 6-7 minutes of the first half. And in terms of the second half, it was total domination, but we played and got in so many good areas, and when you've got that opportunity to take the ball on the back foot, when you found them pockets, we actually turned them down and then come back and had to play 4 or 5 more passes to get back into the same situation. So if we would have been a little bit more dynamic and a bit more clever with our body positioning in them pockets, we could have caused a lot more. But I don't know what the possession stats. I've not looked in the second half, but it was total domination. But did we deserve to win the game? They would say that they've started the game well, and we haven't. So it's our own fault. I'm frustrated because you warn them about we've been on a really good run, and we've got to a position where we are quite comfortable. Not to take the foot off the pedal, but I think a few players didn't do themselves justice, especially in the first 30 minutes.
What was the message at the break? Because it was a very distant display after the set restart.
Stop playing and stopping the ball and roving the ball over your foot and taking 4, 5, 6, 7 touches when you can do exactly the same action in 2 touches. So you watch the second half, we moved the ball a lot quicker, we penned them back for long periods, and we played really well. But I'll go back to the start. If you come to an environment like this and you don't defend, obviously they use a win to their advantage really well in the first half, and you have to give them credit. Listen, it's not the way that I like football, but they cause a lot of problems, and they, I would say, even though I'm frustrated and we performed really well second half in the last 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes of the first half, they deserve to win because their attitude was spot on from the first whistle, and ours wasn't.
I understand there's some illness in the camp. How many of those 4 changes were forced on you?
All of them. So we've Ethan, Tomo, Harry Smith haven't trained all week. We've not seen them since the Walsall game, and then Connor Wood, who was starting, went down injured yesterday. So we don't think Connors is too serious. All enforced changes.
And I understand now that Omar Beckles is at 10 bookings that he's picked up.
I think it is, but the cut-off point is okay, so there's no suspension pending.
Well, that is good news at least. And looking ahead now for the rest of the campaign, again, are you going to sort of give the youngsters an opportunity? I
think it's important. Listen, I think that Sweeney and Moss was better second half, but the way that we play, you see how many times Sweeney got in good areas where he should be scoring himself or getting in a position where he can assist someone to score. We need better quality in the final third, so we give Sweens an opportunity and Mossy an opportunity. I thought first half, if I'm being honest, they weren't great, but I think the performance improved drastically in the second half, and maybe it's a lack of game time they've had recently, and it took them a little bit of time to get going because the improvement was drastic second half.
And we saw Young and Nkrumah in the second half.
Nkrumah, I like him. I watch him in training a lot, and I really like him. I thought he had the problem we had in the last 6 or 7 minutes is because listen, again, I've got a bit frustrated with their manager at the end, and it was not their manager's fault that the referee's allowing these antics to go on. We would do exactly the same in their position, but you just want the referee to control the game and speed it up at times when they're trying to slow it down. And for 4 minutes to be added on in that game was unbelievable. I was thinking it could be 8 or 9, but to put 4 on, so I let that boil over. But what we've done is we made a few little niggly fouls where they're taking 45 seconds to get to the ball, then they put it in the corner and it's a throw-in, then it's another 40, and it just took our rhythm last 6-7 minutes. We didn't have no rhythm, we kind of lost that. So like I say, every credit to them because I think they deserved it the way that they started.
An award for Will Soturio, but he was on the bench this afternoon. Why was that?
Yeah, it's simply because he's had it's kind of like the outside of his calf going into his knee, so he's had a bit of a problem recently. Ideally I would have liked to have not used him at all today, just like to freshen him up for the Easter programme. But he's such a good player that you want to get him on the pitch. I want obviously Real on the pitch as much as possible, but again we just need to be careful with him. And then obviously Paul Smythe hasn't trained much, so we needed to get some minutes into him because obviously congratulations to him because he's had the birth of his baby boy, so he's had a really good week in terms of his family scenario, but obviously he's not trained much.
Any other injuries?
Mitch went down yesterday in training with a sore shin, hence he wasn't in the squad. But again, we'll give Mitch an opportunity to play before the end of the season.
And could we see Tom James before the end of the season?
Touch and go. He's out on the grass running with the physios at the moment. We're probably going to have to wait at least another 1 or 2, probably 2 weeks before Tom will be back. Again, you put Tom James in the final third today. Our fullbacks were the way that we moved the ball, the way our rotations worked today, that we needed our fullbacks to provide the quality in the areas that they got in. I hope the supporters could see that, you know, we get better quality in them areas. We can win a lot more games. I'm pleased with our performance. Bittersweet. I'm frustrated because I thought at times our performance was really good, and for the supporters to stay at the end and clap us off was obviously, it's different when you lose. Usually they're putting their arms out to say what was that, but yeah, I think they've seen signs of a really good performance, and even they was flabbergasted when the 4 minutes went up. So listen, I'll probably let it boil over in terms of their manager, but I'll apologise to him in a minute. And obviously it was a referee's lack of control of the game.
Thanks, Richie.